Okay, as FAU takes its seats, we have head coach Dusty May. We have sophomore guard Elijah Martin. We have junior guard Brian Greenlee. We have sophomore center Vlad Golden. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach May. Then we will open it up to questions for the student athletes. We'll dismiss them, and then we will take questions for Coach. Once again, the FAU locker room will be open until at least 9:44. But why don't we start with an opening statement, Coach?
Extremely rewarding to see a group give as much as these guys have all season. Shots, playing time, minutes, everything you can imagine, great 100% effort every day in practice, and then be rewarded, because there's never a guarantee. It's always you're relying on faith that you believe is going to happen, but you never really know. And it's just in this era where everyone wants the whole pie, these guys continued sharing the pie every single day. And this was the result. So couldn't be more proud of a group who did it really together every single day.
Once again, if you have a question, just raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone up to you. We have a couple here on the aisle. We'll start on the right side of the aisle, my right side of the aisle. Go ahead.
Elijah, right here. Kevin Fielder from House 24/7. You guys are now in the Final Four. What does that feel like for you guys? You know, when you guys committed, it was more of a plan, and now it's actual reality.
Feels amazing. You know, this is a group of guys that just love to work, you know, love to compete. Also, we love to serve each other. We love being around each other, and it shows on the court.
We'll go to the other side. Yep, second row. Go ahead.
Hi, Zach Weinberg of Palm Beach Post. Brian, I know that you guys pride yourself in having a 1-0 mentality for every single game, but can you just kind of go through the emotions that you're sort of feeling right now, you know, as you're advancing to the Final Four?
Yeah. It's pretty surreal. Just a lot of excitement. Just happiness for the unit that we have, that everyone gets to experience this together. And also a little bit of just hunger to go finish it off.
We'll come back on the aisle, back in row 5. Go ahead, Zach.
Zach Braziller, New York Post. For Janelle O'Brien, this is the transfer market era. You know, teams look different every single year. What do you think made it? Why did you guys stick together when, you know, had some success but not a ton of it before this year?
Start with Brian.
We just have a lot of faith in our coaching staff and the players alongside of us. We knew that, you know, the grass isn't always greener, and really it just comes down to how much work you put in. And we already had a good chemistry last year, and the pieces that we added just complemented everything we had going on. So there was nobody that took anything away from the locker room, and just one unit of guys who just love to work and compete.
We'll stay on the aisle once again, back where we started. Go ahead.
Vlad, Kevin Fielder from House 24/7. You had a really good first half, and it was sort of an opportunity for you guys to sort of feed you and get you involved. What do you feel like was working in the first half for you to have such a successful first half?
I mean, it was working because we have such a good shooters, so they cannot help. Teams cannot help overhelp. That's what makes me more open than I would be in other situations. So it's basically just because we have so many shooters around me, so I can work in the post with more freedom.
And we'll stay on the other side of the aisle again.
Zach Weinberger, Palm Beach Post. I guess this one is for Elijah. Elijah, can you just kind of sort of talk about how maybe to start the second half, you guys were playing a little bit sloppy, but then kind of when guys went on a big run. What was sort of the mindset in the second half?
Just slow down and really take care of the ball and be decisive when you penetrate. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we would get down there too deep, trying to make a decision, and we was letting to turnovers, and they were scoring from it. We had to close off on that.
We're going to go to the other side of the room, row 4 on the aisle, on the end. Sorry, Jack.
Jack Ebling, Drive with Jack, and press pass. Brian, for all the things you did, you fouled out with 3:49 left, 4-point lead, and you had to sit and watch that 3:49. Was that one of the toughest things you've ever done?
It was tough, but I think Elijah was on the court when I fouled out. I just huddled the guys up and said, finish this thing off for me. for the team, you know, and I had so much faith in everyone. It was just a joy to see everyone compete. It was just awesome. I wasn't too worried.
We'll stay on that side, standing just at the end. Go ahead.
Sure, this is for the players, starting with Elijah. What turned the game around in the middle of the second half? You were down 6 points.
Our defense, mindset, you know, also limit them to one possession. You know, that's about it.
Brian, you want to chime in? And then Vlad?
I think just continually chipping away. A lot of times people might try to hit home runs to close that lead. And we don't really get rattled in situations where we're down. We've been in too many of them. So just taking it one possession at a time and focus on getting stops.
And Vlad?
I think the basketball is like game of running. So they score, we score, they score, they made couple threes. We just knew we're gonna make it like eventually. So we weren't worried about the shots not going in at the time. So we just keep playing our basketball.
We'll stay on this side on the front row on the end.
Deshaunte, Spotlight Radio Network. Congratulations to you guys, first of all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Was there ever a point where, you know, there was definitely, you know, a little bit of a chip on the shoulder, a lot of conversation about Marquise Noel coming into this game? Was there ever a point you guys put a little bit more emphasis on it, that you kind of wanted to show the world that it wasn't just going to be all the talk about Marquise Noel, but that you guys were a team that could challenge some of that?
Let's start with Brian, and then we'll go to Elijah on that one.
Yeah, first off, I just want to shout out Marquise Noel. He's definitely a very, very talented point guard. We game plan for him, and he still put up numbers. But, you know, we just know it's a team effort, and it's going to take the whole unit to really win this game. And it's not just, you know, one guy who can shut somebody down. It's just a group effort. So.
Yeah, we came into it with a chip on our shoulder. And, you know, of course, you know, shout out to Marquise. He's a great player, you know. And, you know, going into it, we just wanted to shut him down. But he still put up crazy stats. And we're just able to overcome that, you know, because we got 8 guys over here that's 8, 10, or whatever. I keep counting. Great guys, you know, that's contributing and can step up any night, you know.
We'll come on the other side of the room here. Just raise your hand so we can see you. Go ahead. Yep.
Hi, guys. Jeff Maglicetti with SI.com, All Knicks. First of all, congratulations. And there's a lot of talk about Marquise Noel, but at the same time, the leading scorer is Keontae Johnson, who's limited to 18 minutes tonight due to foul trouble. How much does the pace of the game and the tone of the game change when you're able to keep a guy like Keontae on the bench?
Let's have Elijah answer that question.
Yeah, I mean, once he got in foul trouble, you know, it was much easier on the defensive end. You know, he's a guy with a strong frame, a freak athlete, and it was easy to just limit him to one possession and get stops.
We'll take one more question for the student athletes. We'll go back here onto the aisle with Zach.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. Yesterday, a few of your guys, or not yesterday, 2 days ago, a few of your guys said, "Don't consider yourselves a Cinderella." How do you think people should look at you then, if not Cinderella?
We'll start with Elijah. We'll have Brian, and then Vlad. We'll have all three answer that.
You know, they gonna label us whatever, but we some pit bulls and Rottweilers. You know, we go out there and show it every night, and just label. Just call us Beach Boys. You know, because we gonna come out and show how it's done.
Man, we don't really listen to the outside noise too much. Honestly, all the things people say just fuels us to even go out there and play even harder. So they can say what we want, say we're a Cinderella team, say we don't belong, but we've constantly proven people wrong all season.
I like what BJ said. It's like nobody likes us. It's okay because we know who put work before that. We know who stays in the locker room whether we win or we lose. So I think it's more important how we approach each other.
Okay. Fellas, I appreciate it. Congratulations. Enjoy the trip to Houston.
Thank you.
Once again, the locker room is open until at least 9:44, FAU locker room. We have Coach May, so once again, just raise your hand. We will get microphone over to you. Let's start on the aisle. We'll get back there eventually. Let's start on the aisle up here in front.
Dusty, Zach Weinberger, Palm Beach Post. You kind of have throughout the season. You kind of told us kind of the keys to victory: rebounded well, protect the basketball. You guys did have 22 turnovers, but you guys out-rebounded them 44-22. Can you just kind of talk about that, those statistics, and just what kind of went into the game?
Well, we've done that pretty consistently all year. I believe we're top 25 in the country in defensive percentage or percentage of getting the rebounds. So it's not anything that we haven't done. We have a physical group. They're quick to the ball, and they're really bought into all five guys pursuing it. And they've done it all year. So this wasn't a surprise. And they do it every single day in workouts and practice as well.
We'll stay on that same row. Go ahead.
Hi, Dusty, over here. Eric Blum from Deadspin. When you think of the mid-majors that have kind of made the Final Four, you think of George Mason, you think of VCU. Now you guys are on that list. What does that exactly mean when people remember this run, that they're going to remember Florida Atlantic did it this year to you?
Well, I said earlier that there are no such things as dictionaries anymore, I don't think. But if you wiki our team, it would be the word team. It would be a picture of our guys. They're going to have a special bond forever. But this group would have had a special bond forever if we would have got knocked out in the conference tournament and not made the tournament. It's who they are. Like I said before, it's just awesome to see a group of guys that deserve this 100% for it to happen for them.
We'll go a couple rows back with Jeff.
Jeff Borzello, ESPN. 9 days ago, as a program, you never had a NCAA tournament win. Now you're going to the Final Four. Have you been able to kind of put that in perspective at all?
No, not at all. There were maybe 2 or 3 games, probably 2 games, maybe the first round game or the second round game. One of our guys made a mistake, and I went to the staff and I said, we've really got to fix that issue in this offseason. So during the games, I'm thinking about, we've got to get that fixed. We don't have time now, but we got to get that habit fixed by next season. So that's kind of how I'm wired. I'm just happy for our guys and our staff. These guys, man, for 5 years I've been a head coach, and I've never felt for 1 minute that I didn't have a group that was trying to help and support and make me better than what I am. And that's kind of how our guys are. Their teammates make them better than what they are. And so we've done it together.
Other side of the aisle on row 3.
Dusty, Kevin Fielder from Miles 24/7. You guys have been building this for 5 years, and when I spoke to you earlier in the season, you had said we're not done after we beat Florida. For you guys to now be in the Final Four, what had to go right this season to get to this point?
We stayed healthy, and the guys never changed. The foundation was laid, and they stayed with it. A lot of times these guys get so much attention. They're also accessible. It's easy to stray because you have outside influences, and our guys knew that what was in that locker room was real.
We'll go, in the back, directly in front of me, second to last row.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic. Just, you ask any guy on this roster, they're not really surprised that they're here right now. I'm thinking back to Thursday, they were talking about getting in the top 25, maybe gave them a different level of confidence than before, I guess. Can you just kind of speak to when the group maybe had the expectations change amongst the group to where this is what's expected and not a Cinderella run or some of the other notions they've rejected?
Yeah, I've said this week there was 2 pivotal moments, and the first was when we were able to go into Florida and beat a really good basketball team, and the second was when Mike Davis, we played Detroit Mercy, and he coached for a national championship, and he came in the locker room, and this is early in the season, and told our guys, we haven't seen a team like you in years. This group could be special. You guys could go to the Final Four. And our guys are looking at me like, hey, who is this guy? And so, but what it did, as we started to win and generate a little bit of buzz, I think we always kind of refer back to maybe we're a little bit better than what we thought. The other moment was we played, I don't know if we're allowed to say this, NCAA, I'll take the level 3 violation. We closed scrimmage Nova Southeastern, who just won a national championship today. They're the best pressing, hardest playing team we've ever seen. And when we beat them in a scrimmage, we said, we got a chance to be pretty darn good. So hats off, Coach Crutchfield, national champion, and someone that gave us, once again, more confidence in ourselves.
Come up a couple rows on the same side.
Coach, over here, Jeff Maglicetti with SI.com, All Knicks. First of all, congratulations. And there were several points in the second half where this game could have gotten away for you guys, namely at the U12 timeout. It's a 57-50 game. They start the second half on a 19-8 run. What was your message to the team at that point, and what gave you the confidence that you guys were going to be able to overcome such a deficit and move on and do, in your words, what you guys were supposed to do?
that if we just stayed the course and focused on what's important, then we would have had a spurt in us. We've had spurts in us all year, and we had been on one in the first half. So just stay in the course, hang around, and then we always have a run. And because of our depth, our guys believe that we can play harder for longer periods of time than all of our opponents. And it may or may not be true, but we believe it.
Up one row on the end.
Hey, Coach Nick Levine, Guardian. We know you started your career with Coach Knight, and how do you think Coach Knight from the 90s would have enjoyed this group, coaching this group of guys?
This is a Coach Knight type of group. We obviously throw out coaching cliches, but I've never been around a group of guys, and I've been doing this 20-plus years, but been a part of a Division I team for 20-plus years, that brought it the amount of energy, intentionality, focus every single workout of every single day. And if one guy wasn't, then his teammates quickly reeled him in, and we didn't have to. This is a player-led team, and these guys have made each other better every single day. It wasn't just the games. It was workouts, practices, weight sessions, film sessions. These guys are committed to being great.
We're going to go to the other side of the room in the very back row.
Cameron Priester, University Press. Coach, it was a second half run that got you past Tennessee, and then kind of the same thing happened tonight. What it is about your team that just always seems to have that run in them?
It's straight tenaciousness and belief in each other and belief in what we do.
We'll come up on the aisle here, row 3.
Coach, JP Acosta, SB Nation. Following up on that, this team has played really well in close games, especially throughout this NCAA tournament. What kind of goes into being able to tell the team not to be moved by those moments that are getting down to crunch time?
Well, there's no replacement for experience, and these guys have been in pressure-packed moments a lot. So you've gone through it, you learn from it, and these guys are trying to get better every day. So they've learned from the mistakes, but these guys, they're not afraid of. They weren't afraid to lose today and go home. They're not afraid of failure. We lay it on the floor, and whatever happens after that is more than enough, because we've done that every single day. So there's never a moment when we get tight, because we're not afraid of what happens if we don't get it done. We'll still walk in that locker room, hug each other, compliment each other for a great effort, and figure out how to immediately start getting better. And it's been like that from day one.
We'll go back a couple rows on the aisle there, Dan.
Hey, Coach. Dan McQuaid, Defector Media. What did you tell your team in the final, seconds of the game? And, obviously it worked. What was your defensive game plan for that final play?
Well, we had a smaller group in. We were going to switch all ball screens and make them hit a hard shot over us. We weren't going to foul. Despite the 50-50 data split on that, we wanted to force them to hit a hard shot and finish it with a rebound. So we had 5 quick, tough, competitive players, and we just wanted to make sure we kept the ball in front, and we didn't put 2 on the ball, because there's complementary guys that stepped up and banged in some tough shots.
We're going to do 2 more questions. We'll do on the aisle, and then we'll go over there so we can get Coach back to the locker room.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. Dusty, did you ever come close to losing any of your guys to the portal? And we all know that's just what happens now, where you have some success and guys leave. Why do you think your guys stay together?
Absolutely. You're always concerned, because they're getting recruited now. They've been recruited through this tournament. There's so many outside parties. It's part of it. Our job of coaches is to do the best job we can every single minute of every single day to provide the environment that they think this is the best thing for them long term. Not today, not in a week, not in a month, but long term. And the missing piece that is very understated is these guys truly love each other. And when you love your teammates, it's hard to go jump into deep waters that you don't know what's out there.
On the far end on row 3, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Jake Marsh, part of My Take podcast and Barstool Sports. You mentioned Nova Southeastern winning the D2 title. Between the Sharks cutting down the nets, you guys going to the Final Four, and Miami still alive in the Elite Eight. Can you just touch on what that means to the South Florida community, the heater that South Florida is on right now in basketball?
Well, I'll talk about Florida Atlantic first. Florida Atlantic's a new university. It's been booming before I got here. One of the reasons I took it is because it's the right place at the right time, and it's growing exponentially. And so we've talked about it. We've just never had that moment as a university. I still remember being a child watching the '87 Hoosiers And because of that, I became a fan forever. And so we had never had our moment. And when we made the tournament this year and we won a very tough league, if you look around and really study our league, a tough league, we felt like this could be our moment to really captivate an area, a fan base, a student body. And I think we've exceeded that moment, but there's no reason why we wouldn't just continue to ride this wave.
Coach May, we appreciate you taking the time. Congratulations. Enjoy Houston.
Thank you, guys.
Right now it is 9:38. Once again, the locker room will be open until at least 9:44. So at least 6 more minutes. A reminder that Hammond Communications is posting recordings of both press conferences from tonight in the NCAA's digital media hub. That is www.ncaa.veritone.com. Once again, both press conferences will be posted in the digital media hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Veritone is VERITONE. Also, transcripts are provided by ASAP. Those will be posted shortly. We appreciate you taking the time.